What we're going to be doing today, going to be just going over a really, I guess, broad overview of our cold shrink technology, our cold shrink products and applications. I have some samples here just to show you as a demonstration. I'm not going to be doing any terminating or splicing. However, if you and your organization in the future, anytime, would like either in-person training, demonstration, certification in medium voltage splicing and termination, we can definitely set that up. If you want a more in-depth class, we can set up a virtual class. And I'll also be going over at the end here 3M's Energy Academy. So cold shrink has been used actually almost 50 years now. It was invented. It's a safe and reliable sealing solution for low, medium, high voltage applications. Very easy to install, which reduces the chance of error. Kind of show you the timeline here. So this says about 40 years, but really, it's getting closer to 50 years since 3M invented cold shrink. So they invented cold shrink back in, I don't know if you can see my cursor or not, 1968, patent 1970, and then the first medium voltage termination was produced back in 72. Terminations date back all the way to 1972. Fast forward a few years, we also created the medium voltage splice, which I'll explain here in just a moment. Getting into the cold shrink technology. So once the tube is made, it is then expanded. So the expanded tube is held and formed by a core, which is installed. When the core is removed, the tube shrinks, and there you have your heat shrink tubing with a living seal that is continuously pressing inward on the cable, even after the core is removed. So the living seal, when we say living seal, what does that mean? That's simply because the cold shrink is expanded and that core is in place when it's before it's installed. Once that core is pulled, it's continuously shrinking, and that's what they call the living seal. Everything is factory tested with cold shrink. Integrated accessory allows one-step installation with no torch, work permits, or special tools. That's huge and reduces downtime and training time. Here are some of the products. On the left-hand side, you have cold shrink outdoor termination. You can see that it's outdoor because it has the skirts on it. I'll show you the difference here. I have an outdoor and an indoor, so you can see the difference. On the right-hand side, you have the QS3. This is the cold shrink splice, and you can see all the parts that come in the kit with it. We also have 4 different sizes end caps. So, if you are on a job and, the cable is pulled, but you're not quite terminating yet, you don't want the ends of those cables exposed to the environment. So you can actually get these end caps in 4 different sizes to cover those ends.
For years, heat shrink products have been used for jointing, terminating, and environmentally sealing electrical cables. And it's easy to see why. Heat shrink is simpler to install than traditional tape or resin. But as the industry desires ever more reliable and safer technologies, global trends point toward a different standard. 3M brand cold shrink medium voltage cable accessories. Featuring a rubber tube that shrinks around your cable once the removable core is unwound, 3M cold shrink products offer an alternative to heat shrink with a reliable and more installer-friendly design. Cold shrink technology provides a more consistent installation independent of the physical location or the environment without the use of a torch or hot work permit. Plus, 3M brand cold shrink provides an environmental seal that expands and contracts with the cable, therefore providing a living seal. Invented by 3M in 1968, cold shrink technology has gained increasing acceptance around the world. 3M brand cold shrink cable accessories have proven themselves time and time again as the quicker to install, safer, easier to use, and more reliable technology in the field today, while maintaining excellent electrical performance. Cold shrink products contain elastomeric bonds, which give them elasticity similar to rubber bands. So when they're stretched and then allowed to shrink onto a cable, they exert a strong inward force that produces a constant squeezing effect on the cable, which provides excellent electrical performance and environmental sealing. Heat shrink products contain crystalline melt regions in their materials that, when heated above the crystalline melt temperature, allow the heat shrink material to shrink. When cooled, these crystalline regions resolidify and prevent the heat shrink from exerting any inward pressure on the cable. Wherever you are in the world, the installation of 3M brand cold shrink accessories is simple. They are designed with minimal parts, which decreases the number of installation steps, minimizes the chance for errors, and reduces installation time, resulting in low failure rates. 3M brand cold shrink molded joints produced failure rates of 0.067% and 0.022% for terminations in a 2013 study held by 3M. The simplicity is apparent. To install, slide a cold shrink cable accessory over the connection and simply unwind the plastic core by hand. The simplicity of installation helps installers quickly become familiar and comfortable with cold shrink. However, with heat shrink, a heat source needs to be applied consistently all around the tube. Inconsistent application can result in thinner insulation or voids in the insulation, which will result in partial discharge and ultimately electrical failure. Since there is no constant inward pressure with heat shrink, adhesives are used to environmentally seal, and installers have to heat the tubes until these adhesives ooze out. Moreover, if a heat shrink outdoor termination is being installed, the installer still has the added step of attaching each skirt individually. No special tools or heat sources are needed with cold shrink, which can be a real advantage when installing in tight places, like switchgear and ditches, or in inclement weather conditions. Also, it doesn't carry the same safety concerns as heat shrink, which sometimes requires shutting down a facility before an installation to minimize the danger of explosions from combustible gases. And in many situations, the use of a torch requires a hot work permit, further increasing the time and cost of each installation. Cold shrink products are designed to last even in harsh conditions and extreme cable temperature cycles. Coming from the accessory application experts at 3M, you can have peace of mind knowing your cold shrink products will be made with the same care and craft as all of our products, and is backed by our global team of tech support experts and supply specialists. Already in wide use in the USA and much of Europe, South America, and Asia, cold shrink technology meets or exceeds the standards set by IEEE, IEC, Senelec, and GB. While heat shrink remains a viable option, global industry trends point toward the field-proven 3M brand cold shrink technology. Don't be left behind. Make the switch today at 3m.com/cold shrink.
Some of the products that you saw, obviously with cold shrink, were the terminations, the splices. We do have end caps and breakout boots. So I just wanted to show you a little bit of how cold shrink works. So this is a very tiny connector, but just so you get the idea of pulling the core, you can see the size of that as it is right now. Basically, when you pull this core, you can see that starts to shrink down right on there. So I just kind of wanted to show you, this is just a very tiny connector. This is the smallest end cap that we have. We have all sizes for a complete range of any cable, but you can see it's kind of the same idea, but it's an end cap and it shrinks right down on whatever cable you're using. You did see in the video the terminations. So Here we have an QT3 indoor termination, and then you'll see here QT3 outdoor termination. This outdoor termination has the force skirts that helps prevent tracking when outdoors. So you have these two different ones, and it's a very good idea to make sure you select the right products, and that's why, you know, working with a 3M sales rep whenever you're choosing your products or using the service that I'm about to show you, construction services, is definitely a good idea. So basically, with the terminations, this is a kind of like a pre-prepped cable. I started to rip it open. I've been using this as an example, but basically, let's just pretend this is prepped with the lug at the end, and we've already installed a ground braid. Basically, all you do once it's ready is pull out the inside core. Make sure, obviously, you have the right size termination. Put the termination on, and then I'm not actually going to do this at this point, but you would just pull this cord and pull and tug in a counterclockwise direction. And when it's done, you'll actually have something that looks like this. So this is just a completed termination. You'll see that there's sealant at mastic at both ends to prevent, you know, any contaminants or anything getting in there, water. And then I'll also show you this. This was shown in the video. This is one of our newest splices. This is the QS4. It's an integrated one-piece splice. So instead of having a two-part splice where you have to park it on both ends of the cable, this is integrated into one. And if you would like some more information on the QS4 splices, just let me know, and I can, we can do a live demonstration in person, or set up in my workshop. You can definitely do that. And then one thing that I didn't mention were a 3-conductor breakout boot, which I have example here. So this is cold shrink as well. So if you have this just happens to be a 3-conductor armored cable. So you have the 3 phases here. You have rejacketing sleeves. So you have the terminations for each piece. The breakout kit comes with the rejacketing sleeves that go from here to about here. And then the breakout boot itself on this armored cable. So this is very, very, very easy to install. And again, it's cold shrink and not heat shrink. So, if you would like some more information on this one, please let me know. So Construction Services is a great program that we offer. Basically, we work with your team and provide you support at every step of your project, just making sure you're choosing the right materials. The materials are going to arrive on time, and they're going to arrive custom labeled where you need them. And a little bit more about how it works. Once you're starting a project and you have the one-line drawings, you can send that over to our construction services team along with the cable schedule. We do a full takeoff for you and basically pick out all the parts that are needed based off of your one-line drawing and cable schedule. And we put together these custom kits. We label them and we ship them directly to the site. If you need extra parts, lugs, even if they're, off-brand lugs or non-3M lugs, anything that you need to make your life a little bit easier on this project, we will kit them together and get them out to you. And then we would also provide the on-site training and support right on site. A little bit more about construction services, a free program that anyone can utilize. We do need usually about 4 to 6 weeks ahead of time. This isn't something that, you know, can be turned around in days or even like a week or two. So we do like proper notice if we are going to be using the construction services program. So how does it work? Figuring out the project time frame when you're going to need to start terminating. Once we know that, we ask you to provide the following. As you can see there, the one-line drawings, cable schedule, cut sheets, and a contact person on that job or on that project that we can go back and forth with our team down in Austin, Texas. We provide you the preliminary takeoff along with a list of assumptions and things that might need clarified. And the contact person would, you know, have that talk with the construction services person working on this particular project with you. And then after everything is resolved and we're ready to move forward, we'll provide that final takeoff. 3M's Energy Academy. This is something that I'm very involved with. We do a lot of trainings through Energy Academy. And what this is a platform that anybody can sign up for. So anybody within your organization, from top all the way down to the bottom, they can go online and they can take these courses. There's instructor-led courses. There's virtual courses without instructors that has, you know, each one of them has a knowledge check at the very end that you have to pass. So why are we doing it? Basically, we're doing it because we want to give our customers a little bit added value and want them to know not just about 3M products, but about electrical products in general. So I'd mentioned earlier, I think we have 60 plus energy courses, anything from cable prep, basics of electricity, failure analysis. Then we have like medium voltage terminations and splices. There's several classes on that. So definitely recommend anybody checking out any of these courses. Some of them, there's 100 level classes, there's 200 level classes, 300 level classes that are a little bit more advanced. And you can start each course as you please. They're all on demand. And so you can basically take them anytime. There's also a dashboard for everybody that's logged in, so you can keep track of your entire curriculum. And then leaders within your own organization, you can set up your own custom curriculum for your employees. You can assign them certain classes and give them a certain time frame as to which they have to take these classes. And then you're also able to get reports on when they started it, when they completed it, what score they got, how long it took them. So if that's something of interest to you, you know, please let us know and we can get you in touch with our Energy Academy team to set up that custom course curriculum for your specific organization based on the classes that you want your folks to take. Hope I covered everything. And like Nick and like Cale had mentioned, this was just a overview of one cold shrink technology and then the construction services program that 3M offers at no additional cost. And then, you know, our newest educational platform, which is 3M Academy. You know, feel free to reach out to myself or Cale to schedule, you know, a more in-depth training or product demonstration, whatever you guys need.